How's it going, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back. So this Sunday is going to be the Oscars. That's March 2nd on ABC and Hulu. I look forward to this every year. To me, it's like a party. I think a lot of people are bored with the Oscars now. I think a lot of people don't really watch the movies that get nominated. But this year, the host is going to be Conan O'Brien. I'm a big fan of Conan. He was obviously on NBC back in, I think he started in 1993. That was right when I got out of high school. So I've always kind of related to him. He was like the 12:30 show at the time. He took over for David Letterman, and for me, I really enjoyed it. But I know obviously he was on the Tonight Show, that he got taken off of that. I think because his ratings weren't really great, and Jay Leno wanted to come back and take over. Then he was on TBS, and that got canceled eventually. You can actually watch him on YouTube. It's called Team Coco. He does like interviews on it where he has like celebrity guests come on, and they kind of have a lot of fun for maybe 30 minutes or so. So I enjoy that a lot. So let me know in the comments what you think of Conan O'Brien. Like I said, he's kind of polarizing in some ways, but I don't really understand why. But he obviously he was like writer on like The Simpsons and SNL one time. So I've enjoyed his humor. So I'm only going to talk about like 6 major categories. I'm going to throw in like a best original screenplay in my list here. So I'm not going to talk about everybody, but I want to give like maybe the one I think will win, and the one maybe I think I would like to see win instead. Maybe even though I think a lot of these are I don't really have a big problem with any of these really. But as far as the 2 locks, I think as far as an actor in a supporting role, you have Kieran Culkin. I think it's kind of the lock. He was in a movie called A Real Pain, which was written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg, and I think he was really great in that movie. Obviously, if you know Kieran, he was in like Home Alone 2. He was like the little kid. He's Macaulay Culkin's younger brother, so you can see this little kid in those 2 movies. And he was also in the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He's also on a TV show called Succession, which I've never seen before, but I think he won some Emmys for that. So I think he's an outstanding actor. I think he's only like 42, so he's been in the business for a while. And but I would like to see him win. But if you saw I did give like a top 10 list of Oscar nominees that have never won before, and I did mention Edward Norton in that movie in that list. I would like to see him win. But I would be perfectly fine with Kieran winning because he's won pretty much everything so far. I don't think he's lost in any category on any award shows yet. But Edward Norton was in a movie called A Complete Unknown, which was about the Bob Dylan story, and I thought he played Pete Seeger was the character. He was like a folk singer, played like banjo and stuff like that. And I thought Edward Norton was really great in that. I think this might be his 4th nomination. So if there were an upset there and Edward Norton were to win, I would be happy with that. But I think Kieran's going to win. All right, so the second one here I think is another lock. It's an actress in a supporting role. I think for this one, I'm going to pick Zoe Saldana. I thought she was really good in this movie, even though I didn't like this movie that much. I gave it like a C, like 3 out of 5. I know a lot of people really hated that movie. It's on Netflix, so I understand that it's really polarizing for a lot of people. But I thought Zoe was definitely the standout in the movie. I know a lot of people that like Ariana Grande and Wicked. They like her a lot. I really liked Monica Barbaro. She was in a Complete Unknown. She played Joan Baez. I thought she was really great in that movie. Her singing's really great in the movie too. So I like those 2. But my pick would be Zoe Saldana. Okay, so for pick number 3, I'm going to talk about actor in a leading role. For this one, I think Adrien Brody's probably the standout for this. He was in the movie called The Brutalist, and obviously he's won an Oscar before. But for The Brutalist, there was something that happened in that movie kind of near the end that kind of set me off a little bit. I think it's why I think back in December it was kind of like the buzz pick for Best Picture, and then I think a lot of people have backed off on that now. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if that movie were to win. I'm going to talk about Best Picture nominees later, but there was something that happened in the movie I just didn't care for. But I think Adrien Brody was definitely a standout in the movie. But as far as other actors in this category, I'm going to talk about 2 other people. If you've seen that video where I talk about my 10 favorite Oscar nomination actors and actresses that have been nominated for Oscars but haven't won, I had actually 2 actors on that list that are actually also nominated in this category. One would be Timothy Chalamet. He was in Complete Unknown, and I thought he was really great as Bob Dylan in that movie. He's outstanding. I think this might be his second nomination or third nomination, possibly. I thought it was really good. But I also had Ray Fiennes. He's in a movie called Conclave. I thought he was really great in that movie. I think he has 4 Oscar nominations and has never won. So if there were an upset and one of those two were to take it, I'd be happy about that. I think Timothy Chalamet actually won for the Screen Actors Guild Award this past weekend, so he won for that. But I think Adrian Brody's been winning pretty much in all the other award shows. Okay, so for pick number 3, I'm going to talk about actress in a leading role. There's probably 2 actresses I think they're kind of neck and neck right now in this category. You could see an upset in this one. Looks like Demi Moore is probably the safe pick. She's kind of like the comeback story. Hollywood really loves that kind of comeback story. She was in the movie called The Substance, which is also nominated for Best Picture. And you also have Mikey Madison. She was in a movie called Anora. Thought she was really good. Have you ever seen her in like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? And she was in like Scream 5, the 5th film in the Scream franchise. Thought she was really good in those movies as far as playing these kind of like crazy characters. But this movie was more kind of a subtle role, I think, overall. It's getting some buzz right now. So to me, I think Demi Moore is probably the win, just because I think that there's Hollywood, like I said, they like that comeback story. But I would really like to see Mikey Madison win in this award, even though this is her first nomination, and it's also Demi Moore's first nomination as well. But Demi's obviously been in Hollywood for much longer, since the late 70s. Okay, so for pick number 5, I'm going to talk about directing. There's actually probably 2 directors I think are kind of standouts in this category. One is Sean Baker. He actually directed the movie Anora. He also has a movie in the Criterion Collection called Takeout. I think it's really good. And actually Anora and a movie called Prince of Brooklyn are actually going to get released, I think, sometime in April in the Criterion Collection. So I've already seen Anora, and I definitely want to pick that one up. Prince of Brooklyn I've never seen before, so I'm not sure how soon I'm going to try to pick that one up. But there's actually another director, Brady Colbert. He directed The Brutalist. I think what he did in that movie, just kind of the task that he had there as far as making a movie that long, it's possible he might win. I think Sean Baker's been winning a lot. He won, I think, the Independent Spirit Award. He gave a really good speech in that movie in an award show, and I think he won something for the SAG Awards as well. So it's quite possible that Sean Baker will win in that category, but who knows? That there could be an upset there possibly, but I think Brady Colbert definitely has a chance. But I would like to see Sean Baker win. Okay, so for pick number 6, I'm going to talk about original screenplay. I think there's probably 2 standouts here. One is Sean Baker. He wrote and directed Anora, and also I think Jesse Eisenberg. He wrote and directed A Real Pain. I thought he did a really good job in that one. For me, I think Anora is probably going to win. Sean Baker probably win for that one. We'll see. To me, he's been winning a lot of awards for this. So who knows? Who knows if there's going to be upset? It may not be either one of these, possibly. I don't know, but I think it'd probably be Sean Baker for Anora. Okay, so finally, I'm going to talk about Best Picture. This one's really tough. There are actually 10 nominations here. I've actually seen all of these except for I'm Still Here. That one's like in Portuguese. I've never seen it. It was actually showing in some theaters here near Indianapolis. Never got out to see it though, but I'm going to give off these nominations here. So obviously you have Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, which I really liked, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, I think is really a shocking kind of horror movie from last year, and you have Wicked. I think that the top 2 here, I think, are going to be Anora and The Brutalist. And for me, I really want Anora to win. It's possible The Brutalist might win. Like I said, that movie's, you could kind of say it might be sort of like an Oscar bait kind of movie, sort of, or something that the voters might really like. But I think there's something in that movie, I think, that kind of set a lot of people off, and that's why it hasn't really been winning a lot. So for me, I think Anora might win. It's possible. Like I said, I definitely want to pick this one up on in the Criterion Collection. So Sean Baker gave a really nice speech at the Independent Spirit Awards. He talked about how back in the day, independent films can kind of have a weak box office, and then they can kind of make their money back on like DVD or Blu-ray or 4K. back in the day, but now that physical media is definitely not as popular as it used to be, that those opportunities aren't really there as much as it used to be. A lot of these movies, they're still trying to make them independently, and then like studios might pick them up and distribute them. You know, they're kind of made independent, and then like studios might see them like at a film festival, and then they decide to pick them up, and that's how you see, like, you know, used to be Fox Searchlight and, you know, Sony Pictures and Pictures Classics, and those kind of studios would have those kind of sub genre labels sort of that would kind of make those movies, and people can make independent films and still kind of make money off of them, and it doesn't really happen that way as much anymore, sadly. But so that's why I'd really like to see Nora win because of that. Okay, everybody, so I really appreciate you watching this video. Definitely watch the Oscars on Sunday. Let me know if I got any of these wrong. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong about some of these, because it's possible. It makes it more interesting when I'm wrong about, when everything's not completely predictable. It's nice when it happens. There's kind of some upsets happen. But obviously, on this channel, I mostly like to do like ranking videos and, you know, physical media hauls, like Criterion hauls and other physical media. I like to do like Ala Theater reactions. I like to do, you know, like a digital code giveaways. So if that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing. Please put a thumbs up on this video. Everybody have a great one.